Finally, you have found this video and you will know exactly what you should do and what you should not do to create the perfect presentation. It can be for school, it can be for work, it can be for your friends, maybe if you should present a trip or a travel, or it can be in business if you should present to some clients some things. But we don't lose time, we go straight in this guide step by step. I will show you all the things that you need to know about creating the perfect presentation, so you can pretty much close more clients, help more people that likes you, and really become the king of the presentation. The first point is learn everything about the topic. For example, if you go and you present a chair, your presentation is about a different type of chairs, you should learn everything about the chairs that exist in the world. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm saying that pretty much 99% of the things about chairs you can find online, and you should go and take hours and just know everything about the argument. So first of all, you have a lot of confidence when you speak in front of the people, and second thing, if someone asks you something about the topic, you will know the answer, and you really create a really good environment and learning things. With the internet, it's possible, everybody can do it. So the first thing, remember, just know everybody about that topic. The second point is know the location and the setup that will be when you go to the presentation. If you go maybe in a classroom, or if you go in a little room with just two people, or if you go to a really big stage with a beamer and PowerPoint and music and maybe some effects and other stuff. You should know before to start, so you know how to move, you know exactly what to do and where you go, because if you have a large stage, you should maybe walk more and be closer to more people. But if there is a little room, you cannot walk around for half of an hour. So once you know the location, it's also very important to know your audience. This is pretty much the best things that you can do, because knowing your audience, you will know the people that you speak with, and you will know their language, their age, their interest, maybe their background. If you're speaking to a 20 years old, you should create a determinate presentation. You should speak in a different way that you will speak maybe a businessman that is 50 years old, or with a kid that is just 10. It's completely different. So the first thing is think at your audience, okay, and then write down everything about your audience, the sides, the passion, the things that they like. Because if maybe you go to a football club, you should do your presentation around football and use their language. For example, you can say things like goals, or just some other way to really feel comfortable with them, and they will pretty much like you, because you use the same language, the same content, and the same way to communicate. The next point is to use tools. A lot of people, I see that maybe they have their presentation, but they pretty much just has the presentation and it's really boring. But if you have maybe something, as I said before, if you present your chair, just take a chair during the presentation and show them everything, the details and all the stuff. It's also important to use flip chart, whiteboards, and also the laser point, so you can indicate the right point, maybe on a product, on a map, or just the point that you are working on. So once you have created this setup and you have everything ready to start, you should go and start. First thing, you should present yourself and tell a little bit of yourself, so the people can know your background and can pretty much relate with what you are saying. Then once you have done this, the best things to do after this is to give to that people some material, something that they can watch, understand and learn more during the presentation. But it should not be a guide or something that they maybe pay too much attention at the documentation and they don't pay enough attention to the presentation. You should find the right way, maybe some key points on some interesting materials, for example some images to just give to the audience, so they can really feel more engaged. And even if you are bored at the chair watching the presentation and someone gives you an interesting image about the product, you will become more interested and look more at that picture. The next thing, this is a little tip, a little trick that I have used and a lot of people use. When you see that your audience is pretty much a little bit bored, they are not excited, just tell them a story. Once you start telling them a story of your past, maybe an experience or something that happens to you, people will absolutely wake up and be interested in what you have to say, because pretty much everybody had the bad stories or amazing stories to share, and they can relate with your story. For example, you can say, how do you have lost a client for a maybe stupid mistake? And I think that other people have lost clients before for stupid mistakes, so the people can relate and they will pay full attention at what you're saying. And then once you have finished your story, you slowly transition back to your presentation, so you keep the attention and the focus on yourself and on what you are saying. The next point is on your PowerPoint or your presentation, don't put too much text, too much images or other stuff. Just keep it clean and simple. Some list or bullet points, maybe 5, 3 or 7, and then maybe add one image or two maximum for every slide. And some tips about the slides is that the background should pretty much never be completely white, but it should be like white gray, because white it's really too aggressive for our eyes and it creates a bad contrast, and is not so comfortable to watch the white for maybe 1 hour. A little bit of gray, it's really better. And then the other thing is about the font. You should use the right font, big enough. It's better use bigger font than really tiny font, because if the people on the back, especially if it's a really big room, cannot see what you are describing, you completely lose them. Also, if you are saying something interesting, but if they cannot see your presentation and what you have written, they will not follow your presentation. The next point is another tip to keep your audience really engaged and make sure that the content that you are sharing is good, and is to ask questions to people. For example, just write a question on your presentation and then let the people on the audience answer to that question. Or sometimes maybe every 10 minutes or 50 minutes you can ask the people, is everything okay? Are you understanding everything? There is some question, so they see that you really want that they understand. It's not just on a presentation to show them my stuff, but it's really something that I want to communicate and I want that they really understand. The next point is look at everybody, because you cannot forget a person. If you maybe are in a big stage and there is thousands of people, you should really make sure to watch pretty much every person during your presentation, so everybody will feel a little bit connected with you and feel more interested. Because if you're doing the presentation and you're just speaking with the people in front of you, the other people will really be disengaged, and they will not find your presentation interesting, and they probably can have also a bad idea about your person, about yourself, because you don't give a priority to other people in the same way, and they maybe don't want to do business with you. So it's really important to pay attention to every single person in the room. The next tip that I have, that it's pretty much another little trick, it's never give your back to the audience and your clients. For example, when I should take a book, I take the book in this way. I don't turn myself and I take the book, because it's for respect and it's for education. For example, if I should take a book, I keep my shoulders open and I just turn my neck and I take the book. But if I do this, you will see that it's really unprofessional and it will not bring amazing results. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, because as you can see, we are growing every day. See you in the next video.